declaring a local state of disaster due to the immigration crisis.
Last time this was considered, we had some discussion about the language that's being used. We also had a question about whether it affects any grant funding that we're receiving. The answer to the latter question is yes, it does, and the governor's office requires
There most definitely, we have seen an increase in crime. We just had a meeting with Border Patrols, and the next concern is that because of the change in federal prosecution, people are going to run. They're going to run for Border Patrols. So that endangers our community because we know that when pursuits begin, or people are running, or they're blowing the checkpoint, those are, missiles coming towards our community that we're trying to stop. So it does put more police officers in our community, and it doesn't only affect our border ops grants, it affects all of our grants. So it doesn't have to be border related. It's any grant that you get through the governor's office. So that's again, like I said, if we had the budget to now have to rely on these things, we wouldn't even bring this to the council's table. But this is the need.
Does this have to do with the migration of the illegals?
I believe that's where it began.
So this is related to the influx of migration.
I believe that's where it began. It includes narcotics, gangs, those types of cases. So, of course, that affects many other things that we do. It puts more police officers on the street. That's just for border. We just got an alert active shooter equipment grant. There's nothing to do with border operations, but if we didn't have the disaster declaration, we wouldn't be able to apply for any of the funding. That's my point, is that I just came up before this council asking about a mental health grant so that we can get mental health officers. And again, that's the unfortunate reality, is that in order to apply, we have to have these things.
We don't have the funds, but are we going about it the right way?
It's the only way.
Okay. Let me read something to you here.
Yes, sir, Mr.
It says the mayor is authorized to declare a local state of disaster, this is what you want to do, right? Or request that the governor declare a state of emergency of disaster if a disaster has occurred or is imminent. Are we there?
I would say so. In the nature of the crime that we get, and again, it's very random, but we have had individuals who are fleeing from Border Patrol or who are coming in who have harmed our residents. We had an individual
is it
that...
imminent? I mean, is it occurring? I mean, is it happening right now?
It is regular. I think if we didn't have enforcement, we would be in big trouble.
There's two parts to a disaster declaration. We've already gone past the first part. The first part, if council would entertain me, the first part is a declaration by the mayor, which has to be affirmed by the council within 20 days? What's the number, do you know?
I believe it.
Huh?
I believe it's 30 days.
30 days. We've already got past that. What we're doing is a continuation of the previous mayor's declaration. We're keeping it going. We're not asking the mayor to make a declaration. It's the council continuing the last declaration. There's two parts to a declaration. I've read it. I understand it.
It's imminent. It's imminent. Someone's going to run that checkpoint. I mean,
They do.
During
we get calls.
A councilman a couple of years ago, somebody ran, and there was a huge wreck right here that resulted in fatalities and injuries. That's imminently going to happen because they're going to try to stop somebody, and they're going to run. So, yes, it's imminent.
We've seen an uptick in the pursuits coming in.
We're not asking the mayor to declare. We are continuing a declaration.
No, that's not what we're asking. We're asking for me to declare.
No, it's already been declared.
No, the declaration is only good for 7 days. So it is expired. We are now, we are not under a declaration at this
Until
time.
we affirm it.
I think, so we had the gap, right, where it wasn't affirmed. And so I think we're in a point of a gap. So the issue under the statute is the mayor to declare and the council to affirm. And so this is sort of presuming that the mayor has declared. Mayor, I guess if you're concerned about maybe the particular language here, it might be possible for us to work on that and so that you're comfortable with it, if that's your concern, so that it maybe sets forth a little bit better what the the imminence now as opposed, because some of this obviously goes back in time, if that's your concern.
And he didn't believe at the time that it was imminent and that it wasn't occurring, that we weren't having issues. But here, and since then, I know of 2 homicides within 20 miles from here.
Yeah.
That I'm sure the chief cannot go into detail, but what I understand is drug related, and it is occurring, and it's getting closer to our community. One was 10 miles from here, and the other one was about 20 miles from here. So, and it is my understanding, the information that I have is that it is all drug related. So it's unfortunate that that's occurring, and I see this now, and I'm going back and forth also because of your first comments, whether, is it actually occurring right now? And I'm going back to thinking that, I don't know if that's part of human trafficking or is that going to be narcotics, and I'm sure you can't share that, but either or.
It's all
occurring.
intertwined.
It's
all
occurring.
intertwined. And
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And at this point, I am not comfortable with the way it's worded.
Okay.
I think if we can revisit it, you say remove some of the items on there and then bring it back to council. The way I understand this, it has to do with the influx of migration coming into this country. And I don't know if you communicated with our local border patrols and get some stats from them.
every week we do.
Okay.
We have meetings with them weekly. And again, it comes in waves.
Do you know what the percentage is of the?
I don't have that data on me, but like I said, we get intelligence meetings that we meet with them weekly. When it's a border op, that again, it's Leo sensitive intelligence as far as if there's a convoy coming, if there's a load of drugs or whatever it is. Again, it's criminal intelligence, so we don't generally share that.
We need to be ethical about it. We need to be. There's got to be some integrity involved here.
Certainly.
I don't want to, I don't want to sign a document that's just because we want to get funding and we want to put this word in and craft it to where, we can switch the words around and boom, now you can get your grants. I don't want to act that way. I think we need to be honest. We need to be truthful of what we're doing. The same thing when Mr. Min brought up that those resolutions about Uvalde and Uvalde, I want to do it right.